Today I effed up by eating the one thing I hated most on earth for 4 months straight without realizing. Not the most exciting story, but I definitely felt very peeping stupid. Obligatory. Happened beginning March of last year until about July. So, I live in NYC in Lower Manhattan. I'm also a very big fan of sandwiches as well as hot sauce. I have went to stores that exclusively sold hot sauce and was in heaven. Anyways, around when lockdown started I happened to break up with my bodega. The nighttime deli man was an asshole and would try to charge me 1 for 4 ketchup packets when I bought a burger with fries. It's crazy. So I started going to a new bodega. It was extremely clean. The staff was friendly. And the dude I went to always remembered key aspects of my order like extra cheese and however much you think is a lot of hot sauce, put more. I went probably 8 to 10 times a week, twice a day, usually Monday/Friday. Always sandwiches, always extra cheese, always too much hot sauce. The thing is, there was just something about the sandwiches that tasted off. Not necessarily bad but just very different. I continued to go because of the customer service and because it just became a thing. Fast forward to the very last day that I went. I was in the store and ordered my sandwich and got into a conversation with this beautiful woman. We talked about food choices and likes/dislikes. She mentioned she was a huge fan of hot sauce and it caught my full attention. We spent 2 to 3 minutes talking about hot sauce preferences and brands before she asked me what type of hot sauce do I not like. I told her I thought sriracha shouldn't be considered hot sauce and it's absolutely terrible and I've never purposely asked for it except for the first 2 times I tried. Once to experiment, the second to verify that I hated it. Funny enough, the deli man hears this entire conversation. He follows up with a sentence that broke me emotionally. Bro, the only hot sauce we have is sriracha. I've been putting it on all your sandwiches. I just kinda stopped for a few seconds looking between the both of them with the most horrified expression. I felt so betrayed but I couldn't be mad at him because I've never asked what kind of hot sauce they used. Deli man starts dying from laughter. The woman is looking at me like our entire conversation was a lie. I told him not to put any hot sauce on my sandwich he was making and left, never to return again. For no reason aside from shame and the fact that they only have sriracha. Also, just to add, I specifically asked for sriracha on a sandwich about 3 weeks ago and I hated the sandwich. So now I'm just at a loss to what happened. Not sure if this is some form of cognitive dissonance lol. TLDR, the one flavor I thought I hated more than nearly everything on the planet was put in all 100 sandwiches I ate over a 4-month span. I barely noticed and feel like I don't even know myself. I'm confused as to why you ate something that tasted off twice a day every single day for months. Turns out he likes sriracha. Loves it apparently. Who the peep goes to the same takeout 5 days a week and twice a day? Lamau, is that common? Him and Jared. If I had an award I would give it to you. Jared was awarded 15 years. He liked them too fresh. I like the stuff, and you've eaten more of it in 4 months than I have in 2 years. I'm pretty sure you actually love it. This guy cleans them out of the stuff. They probably buy extra bottles for him, the regular who orders X10 hot sauce. Funny he claims to hate it. He hates the thought of it. He's literally a child. We used to trick my cousin into eating anything by saying it was chicken. That's up. I took my Mexican father-in-law to an Indian restaurant for lamb korma from the buffet several years ago. The thing was, he said he hated lamb, so I told him it was beef at an Indian restaurant. He bought it, ate it, and loved it. I never told him the truth about that meal, even on his deathbed. Most people who don't like lamb just don't like the way it smells while cooking. My mom makes it and I really don't like the taste. It's also dry AF. I can see how a ton of spices could make it go away though. Maybe that's why he liked it. What no one has suggested yet but may solve the mystery is you like vinegar-based hot sauces. Very often deli sandwiches have a vinegar-based salad dressing. It's possible that you like the combination but not the sriracha itself. He specifically says he hates Tabasco elsewhere in the thread, so I'm not sure this has anything to do with whether the sauce has vinegar in it. It seems like this guy just has some super weird idiosyncrasies regarding hot sauce. And he's having trouble reconciling the fact that he doesn't actually hate the taste of sriracha with the firm, long-held belief that he hates the taste of sriracha. Undefined. Maybe Op has subconsciously become a hot sauce snob and hates all the mainstream hot sauces out there. I have had the same thing happen with beer since I live in Microbrew Central. Dude, if you really like that place, ask the owner/deli guy if you can drop off a bottle of your favorite hot sauce. If you're that loyal or a customer, they probably appreciate you enough to accommodate you. It wouldn't cost them any extra to keep a bottle of a different brand on hand, and keep your business. Nah, Ops should just own it and go back asking for extra sriracha. The sandwiches were obviously tasty anyway. Yeah, I think it's kinda dumb to go there for weeks on end, enjoy the food, and then when you find out it has something you don't like, you leave, despite not disliking the food beforehand. I thought it was weird though that the first sandwich didn't taste good to him, but he continued to go back 10 times a week. I thought it was weird that after eating said sandwich 10 times a week he never realized the sauce on it was one he hated. And extra weird that he happened to be hitting it off with a beautiful woman when the big reveal happened. And super extra weird when he angrily stormed out of the bodega he'd been visiting nearly every day. It's all very weird. Almost like it's all made up. Sriracha is literally one of the most distinct hot sauces you can eat. Lamau Therese, not a lot of other hot sauces out there that taste like it. I refuse to believe Op ate that many sandwiches and didn't know. You live in NYC and eat the same damn thing 10 times per week. That's where you've peeped up. How does anyone eat the same thing this often? Even if it was my favorite food, after about a week of that I would hate it forever. Hoo boy. I worked in Illinois on a contract for a year, and the place had a cafeteria in-house. First day there, I had a roast beef and horseradish sauce sandwich. I liked it well enough, so I got it the second day. And the third. When the contract was over, I had eaten the exact same sandwich for lunch every single weekday. For a year. It was good, not like amazing, but I enjoyed it. I just started a pattern and then continued the pattern until I was forced to stop because the contract was over and I didn't work there anymore. This is like me with any restaurant I go to. Every time I revisit one, I'm like, hey, I should try something new. And then I remember that I enjoyed X on the menu. Why tempt fate? I reorder X. Honestly, I think the weirdest thing about this is you not liking sriracha. Ordering loads more, all the loads please, more hot sauce on your sandwich without saying oh unless it's sriracha. Then no hot sauce please. Like if I loved ketchup but hated Heinz ketchup I wouldn't say yes please dripping in ketchup without checking that their ketchup wasn't my most hated, and also extremely popular and mainstream, brand. Really? I think the never to return again thing was the weirdest thing. Op sounded like he had a great thing going and never went back because he felt, what? Embarrassed. Get out of here with that shiz. Especially at a bodega in Manhattan. Who lives in Manhattan and gets embarrassed? Not any of the thousands of ridiculous people I've seen walking around there. Having your bodega guy know you better than you know yourself is the one of the most honestly, sheerly joyful things about living in Manhattan. Yeah, it's great when the dude making your sandwich knows exactly how to make it and greets you if you come in that day. Hell, this one lady recognized me when she was covering a shift at another store, same owner, different name store, because apparently no one buys iced hazelnut coffees. Your TLDR didn't include the thing you hate and I had to read your full post anyways. I'm mad. Dude, how much are you spending on sandwiches? I was wondering this also. I couldn't make it out of a sandwich shop for anything less than $6. And that's being extremely generous. Just the sandwich. No side or drink. If you eat that twice a day, that's 12 a day. My guy said Monday to Friday. So 60 a week. 240 a month. 880 a year. On sandwiches. MFW, I spend $200 a month on beef jerky. Imagine liking a sandwich for months, and then not going back because you're so convinced you hate an ingredient that you decide you must hate the sandwich. At that point, feeping, get over it and accept that sriracha combined with other things must be appealing to you. Instead, you just stop going? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, that Speep is childish AF. Because he was embarrassed. What a joke. That shop just lost regular business because this kid is too concerned about his fragile self-image of hot sauce snobbery than to admit he didn't mind it. I seriously picture this weenie little George Costanza type with a huge list of petty deal breakers. Maybe it's time to reinvent oneself and put sriracha on everything. I just picture this as your theme song now. I think the main thing I got from this is that you eat far too many sandwiches. Is there such thing as too many NYC bodega bacon, egg and cheese salt pepper hot sauces? You're like those wine experts that pick the 10 bottle over the 100 bottle in a blind taste test. Except a hipster asshole who will still choose the 100 bottle after taking off their blindfold. 100% this. Are you 12? You like sriracha? No need to be dramatic about it. Lol, 12? This is Speep my 6-year-old sister would do. Don't stop going. It was an honest mistake. Those kinds of places are rare to find. Just add hot sauce on it later. My dad carries around a small bottle of the stuff and adds it to whatever food he gets. I was gonna say, dude can't call himself that big of hot sauce fan if he doesn't carry his own in a belt holster. Maybe it's time to accept that you kinda like the flavor of sriracha but hate the brand name? Sriracha isn't really a brand name. There are lots of brands making it. Huey Fong is a brand name, and as far as I'm concerned they make the only sriracha sauce worth having. Healthy Boy is a Thai brand and they have specialty versions. Absolutely bomb if you get the chance. Aside from the obvious, how did you not realize? The first time I walked into my local bodega and one of the guys called out my primary regular order and then asked which way I wanted the eggs this time was one of the best days of my life. I've traveled the world, married an amazing partner, and have perfect kids, but that guy nodding at me and saying sausage on a roll, you doing scrambled or whites today? That was pure magic. I can't imagine how much you must hate things you actually don't enjoy the taste of. Today I effed up by reading the post of an idiot who has no sense of taste. And then recommends Frank's. Lol. Frank's is the bomb. Homie, keep going. WTF? I broke up with my bodega so NYC. Unfortunately, you're a contrarian elitist. You say it tasted off, but come on. A reasonable person would run through the ingredients with the chef to figure it out after a couple times. No, you liked it as long as you were ignorant. But God forbid you admit you like a hot sauce that is mainstream, so upon finding out everything crashed around you and you immediately never went there again because it exposed your fallacy, lol. You broke poor dude's heart. He probably looked forward to you go in. Dude, it's not like you accidentally sucked a sick and now you're /r/ suddenly gay. Just go get a sandwich and chill out. Identity crisis over a mild sauce. Maybe you actually do like sriracha. I'm shook that you can eat the same thing or even from the same place 8 to 10 times a week. Dude, you need to go back, but bring a bottle of your favorite sauce with you as a gift. Definitely a funny story. Makes me think a lot about the placebo effect and whether knowing that sriracha was in the food made you notice and dislike it more. I think the funniest part is going back and seeing that you did notice something was off but couldn't put a finger on it because you haven't eaten sriracha enough times to automatically notice the flavor. Or maybe you're just stupid lol. Who knows? Side question. What would you say are 2 go-to brands of hot sauce? That isn't the placebo effect, more of a confirmation bias. I'm really not sure what to make of this. I hate hot sauce of any kind because I like to taste my food and not be traumatized by having my mouth burn the whole time I'm eating. But to each their own. That being said, I'm aware of sriracha because it became so popular. If you hate it, how could you not know that is what they were putting on your sandwiches? Are you one of those people that hate something just because it's popular? Ding ding ding. And to think, without the conversation with that woman, you may still be eating sriracha sandos. What type of sandwich do you order though? The placebo effect can be very strong. Was the sandwich eggs? Because sriracha beeping slaps on eggs. This reminds me of a time about 10-ish years ago at my ex-bodega. I always got the Beck SPHS house sauce. One day while waiting, I also started talking to a beautiful woman who turned out to become a famous porn star about food preferences. We were hitting it off in a jokey quippy way, and then she suddenly made a raunchy comment about, well, as long as it tastes better than cum. And I, trying to go along and be funny, was like, huh, right? Cum is the worst. That's why I always ask for no cum on my food. Funnily enough, my deli man also heard this entire conversation, and he followed up with a sentence about the house sauce that broke me emotionally. This is stupid. Why would you put so much stock into hating something you know almost nothing about? Obviously, you don't actually hate sriracha. Why is this important to your identity? Why does that marker even register for you? It's definitely cognitive dissonance for 2 reasons. 1, when you didn't know what it was you liked it. 2, sriracha is delicious. What the peep's wrong with you? Sriracha is still a pretty solid hot sauce. This is kind of like my brother and onions. He swears he hates onions, but if you just don't tell him they are in whatever he's eating, he loves the food. Our mom lies to him all the time and usually he finds out right at the end of eating the food. I made chicken enchiladas for my daughter's birthday. The beasts were like 1/3 onion and he was saying how good they were. He couldn't stop eating them. Then right at the end of his enchilada he just looks at me and goes, "No onions, huh?" And he just looked at his plate like he didn't know who he was anymore because he loved it, but he's convinced he doesn't like onions. He may not like raw onions, but the guy needs to accept that he's fine with cooked onions. Frankly, when teens/adults are stubborn like that, I can't help but imaging it like a toddler who will swear up and down that they didn't do something when you saw them do it. Am I the only one bothered by eating 10 hot sauce sandwiches a week? The deli man probably feels bad now for driving away one of his most frequent customers. Lol. I don't understand how one can eat 8 to 10 times a week outside in NYC. Okay, hear me out. What if they use an off-brand sriracha type sauce? And not the actual thing? That might explain why you hated the other sandwich with sriracha and not the bodega ones. That or your brain just played tricks on you, my dude.